Okay, this afternoon we're going to talk about when to use quotations and commas. Can someone tell me what a comma is? Steph?
Squiggly.
Okay. If I ask you to come to the board, could you underline a comma for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Steph said that this is a comma and this is a comma. So do you think this is a comma too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so what if I told you that a comma has to sit on the ground?
Then I wouldn't be one.
Okay, so is this an apostrophe?
Maybe.
Maybe. What do you think, Nicole?
I think there has to be a difference between them because one is up high and one's down low.
Okay, so which one do you think is the comma?
The one after pictures.
Okay, so we can say that this is not a comma.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. Do either of you know what a quotation mark is?
Isn't it what you put around things that people say?
Okay. Yes. So do you think that you could find the quotation marks on the board? Could you circle them? Do you know what they look like?
I'll try.
Okay.
So I think this is one.
Yeah.
But this is in the air too, but there's only one of them.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
Okay. What do you think about these down here?
Well, there's two of them too. So I would say, do you want me to circle all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay, thanks. So what do we think the difference between this and this is?
That one has two in that little slashes, and that one only has one.
Okay. So when we read this, what does this say, Steph?
Theirs.
What does theirs mean?
There is.
Okay. So then this is saying that it's taking the place of the I for there is, correct?
Mm.
So is this taking the place of a letter in a word?
Mm-mm.
No.
So do we think these are two different things?
Yes.
Okay. So this we talked about earlier was an apostrophe, correct? And these are quotation marks. So we're going to read Teach Us, Amelia, Bedelia, but we're not going to read all of it, we're just going to read parts. And you guys have a copy too. And I'm going to read to you, and we're going to see if we can see examples of commas and quotation marks in the book. So if you turn to the first yellow tab, it says, "The telephone was ringing. 'I'm coming, said Amelia Bedelia. She answered the telephone. 'Mrs. Rogers,' she said, 'where are you?'" So what do we notice on this page about quotation marks or commas?
They have them.
Okay, where do they have one?
I'm coming, I'm coming. There's quotations and an apostrophe and a comma.
Okay, so what are the quotation marks standing for in this sentence? I'm coming, I'm coming.
What do you mean standing for?
What do they mean?
They're around what she's saying.
Okay, so when someone says something, we should put quotation marks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then why does she have commas? Why are there commas between I'm coming, I'm coming?
Because she says, I'm coming, like a
So
breath.
she pauses?
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
very good. Now, why is there not a period after the second I'm coming? Because that's the end of her thought, right?
But it's not the end of the sentence.
Okay, very good.
It's the end of the sentence that she says.
Yeah, so why do you think that there's a comma and not a period?
Maybe because when you read the whole thing, you don't stop.
Yeah, and the end of the sentence is here, so there's a period behind Bedelia, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then if we look down here, Mrs. Rogers has an exclamation point,
Because she's yelling.
but this isn't a comma, right?
That's weird.
Okay, so we'll think about that one for a while. So if you turn to the blue tab, Miss Amelia Bedelia became the substitute teacher at the school. That's what we're talking about. She held up the list. We must do just as this says. Now what's first? Amelia Bedelia read, "Call the roll." She
What
looked
page
puzzled.
are you on? Because that's not the page
The
I'm on.
blue tab? Sorry. starts right here. Okay. Call the roll. What roll? She said. Does anyone have a roll? I have, said Peter. Do get it, said Amelia Bedelia. Peter opened his lunchbox. Here it is, she said. Do we see any examples on this page?
Of what?
Of quotations or commas.
There's a lot of quotations.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I know when Peter's talking and when Amelia's talking?
It says, said Peter.
Behind
It
here,
says
right?
he or she.
Yep,
Mhm.
good job. Then if you can turn to the pink tab, we'll see some more examples. Okay, Amelia Bedelia plopped on her chair. That takes care of, oh, sorry. You should start at, Amelia Bedelia opened the book, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I declare, she said, this is a good one. Are you ready? Yes, said the children. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. It says, run, run, run. The children just sat. Amelia Bedelia clapped her hands. Run, she said. Run, run, run. Amelia Bedelia ran. The children ran after her. Around the room, through the halls, around the block they ran. Finally, they ran back into the room. Amelia Bedelia plopped on her chair. That takes care of run, 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 she said. Your book plumb tired me out. Let's see what's next. Okay, so do you notice any different use of commas or quotations in these couple of pages? What
Between
about,
run.
yeah. So why do you think that they put commas between the runs?
Because it's not really her that says it, it's the book that says it. The book she's reading.
So that's why they put commas there?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the other
no,
quotations.
sorry. No, about the commas first.
Because if she just said run, 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 that would sound weird.
Yeah, and it's a set or a series, so they want you to realize that they're separate words, so they don't all run together. But what were you saying about the quotations?
There's quotations inside quotations.
Yeah, so does this kind of look like an apostrophe, like we talked about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
But, so you think that's a quotation now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that's a quotation?
Because she's saying, it says. So she's talking about another quote.
She has a quote inside a quote? Very good. Okay,
Quick question.
yes.
How do
Sorry.
you tell the difference between an apostrophe and just a single quote?
Okay, so when we talked about apostrophes, we said this takes place of I in is, correct? And is this taking place of a letter in a word?
No.
No. So then we can kind of tell that it's a quote. And then also there are other quotation marks right next to the quote, which it won't necessarily be right next to it, but it's a set inside a set.
Are apostrophes always inside of words then? Like-
Apostrophes? No,
Like
They're
it's
not.
between those, it's between the we and the two L's.
because do you know what are the functions of apostrophes? Do you guys know?
It takes the place of a letter, like you
And
said.
then could it do any other thing? What if I wrote?
It means you own something.
Yeah. So if the students own books, then it could be students and then their books, right? So there's plural students.
Mhm.
You and Steph both are students, and then there's a book. So the apostrophe could be on the outside, right?
Mhm.
So how do we tell those apart?
What apart?
If it's an apostrophe or a quotation, the single quotation.
If there's a noun after.
Yes. And also if it's attached to an S, that usually means it's showing possession, correct?
Mhm.
What if it said runs, like the children?
Oh, yeah.
run?
Because they runs. Uh-huh.
How do you know if there's an S?
Because because there's no noun behind that one. So if it's attached to an S and there's a noun behind it, then we know that it's showing plural possession, correct? Okay. That was a very good question, Nicole, thank you. Okay, so now if you turn to the purple one, Let me see what's next, said Amelia Bedelia. Here are some problems for you. Yuck, said the children. Ginny, get your apples, said Amelia Bedelia. What apples, said Ginny. Amelia Bedelia looked puzzled. She said, but it says Ginny has 4 apples. Paul takes 2 away. Oops, said Amelia Bedelia. I don't think I was supposed to tell that part. She read the other problems. These all have apples in them, she said. Does anyone have apples? The children shook their heads.